Der Pferde-Podcast. Von Island-Pferdereitern für Island-Pferdereiter. Und alle anderen. Wir alle teilen eine Leidenschaft, aber auch ganz persönliche Geschichten und Schicksale. Genau um diese geht es in diesem Podcast. Wunderschöne und traurige Momente. Und eins haben wir alle gemeinsam. Uns verbindet die Leidenschaft zu unseren geliebten Islandpferden. Welcome you Icelandic horse lovers to our first English-speaking episode here on EasyFlex podcast with Nils Christian Larsen. Nils is a professional rider from Norway living in Denmark. For many years he has been in the top of the Icelandic horse sports world and has been awarded Rider of the Year 4 times in Norway, Sportreiter des Jahres in Germany and the Profile of the Year in Norway. He is Nordic champion in 4-gate. He was European champion on ice in 5-gate, in 4-gate. He won 3 times silver at World Championships with Victor Fraudisa and so much more. And as you can get to know Nils a little bit better on EasyFlix and our reportage with Nils, we decided to not talk about these general things. We want to focus about training. We want to learn from Nils his top tips in Icelandic horse training. What is he doing to educate himself? And what are his projects for 2025? And now, enjoy, have fun with this podcast with Nils Christian Larsen. Hey everyone, this is our world premiere in English podcast, I think. And I'm welcoming our new guest in our EasyFlix podcast. Nils, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure that you will have me on the podcast.
Thank you so much for being there. For those who don't know you, maybe you can give us a quick introduction who you are.
I am a Norwegian guy living here on my yard, Kronholt in Herning, Denmark. And what should I say? I have been doing horses all my life.
Yeah.
This is my life.
You do a lot of Icelandic horse riding and training all over the world. And we were just talking before we were starting the podcast that Meistaradeildin is happening tonight. And I was curious if you're taking place.
Yes, but obviously not. Now I'm just home. And my teammates are doing the T2 tonight. Because I had a quite tight schedule with some clinics around in Europe. So I just actually arrived home yesterday. So it would have been a little bit stressy if I had to go to Iceland now. But that is also the cool part being in a team that now the other ones are, presenting top rider in the Meistaradeildin.
And I think this is a kind of a world premiere for you as well, being part of a Meistaradeildin, isn't it like that?
Yes, I have quite often been asked to do it, but I haven't really, had the time or the possibilities actually to do it. But this winter, I wanted also to challenge myself because there were no indoor competitions during spring I wanted to participate in. And then to be prepared for the summer, for the big tournament, you need to do competitions. You need to be on your toes. You need to be on point. You need to practice because you cannot be good in riding competitions while you're not riding competitions. So then I was just like, why not? Let's do something totally new, totally out of the comfort zone. Competing there on Iceland with the totally best riders. Also not knowing the horses I will present, that is also a challenge. So I was just like, no, let's go.
Yeah, I was seeing that you are taking place in Meistaradeildin, and I was, wow, this is really cool because usually it's only Icelandic riders riding in Meistaradeildin.
Yeah, there are mainly that. There have been some in between, some foreign riders. And now I was also deciding to do it.
And how was it possible that you're taking place in Meistaradeildin? Did you need to send them a CV of you, or how does it work?
How does it work? Good question. I don't know actually know how it works. But I am, of course, in the top writer team, and I am also a part of top writer. And we are like a small family, So then, yeah, the whole family behind top writer is also like, my really good friends. So it just one thing led to another, and then I was just like doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Very
So
happy for it.
me too, and really, really looking forward to the next competition when you are riding again. Not T2 tonight, but the other
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, maybe next time.
But of course, we want to talk a little bit about Icelandic horse training, and maybe we can start with that. How do you prepare for competitions like that, or how do you prepare for competition season?
Yeah, the preparation is, of course, as I just mentioned, competing, preparing yourself because you can educate yourself or myself. I can educate my horses as good as I can. I can be quite good at home, but you need also to, or I need at least to challenge me or myself going to tournaments, being good at the exact time, having the program in front of the judges, the music, the surroundings, all of this is something that you actually need to practice because it's, yeah. And that is what I'm trying to prepare myself now during the spring in Meistradelt, have focus on the good things or the correct things, mentally training, physical training. But then, of course, when I ride on Iceland, I'm not training my own horses. So I also actually own the one that is there now. So, but all of my competition horses here at home, they also need this training. So that's why I feel like it's quite important to do those competition during spring to be prepared when the outdoor season starts, especially now when it's like a world championship season. It's all about the details.
You just mentioned Nils, and of course we want to know. You mentioned, yeah, by accident, you just mentioned in between. Oh yeah, this is my horse. I was just riding at Mexered. What kind of horse is it, and when did you board it, and how did you board it?
I bought it just actually before before Meistradelt.
By
So
accident?
by accident, no, it was maybe not so accident, but my friend Teitur Arnason, he had the horse in training, and he was just like, Nils, it will be so good to have this in Mestradelt, and I think this is just like, a really good opportunity. Such a well-educated horse and good in foregate, T2, gaining a list, and it has also a good competition record on the outdoor track, and also a good feet, so good pedigree, blah blah blah. And then I was just like, yes,
I need that.
I need that one. But for example, then in Maestrada, the challenge was, since I didn't really knew the horse, it was a challenge because I had trained in the arena 3 days before. So I had tried it 3 times before my forget, and then everything was working quite well. And what I, as non-experienced rider there from earlier, I didn't really think about the heat in the riding arena because the riding hall is, of course, heated up for the audience, and then which is then not normally like it is. So then when I was then entering there, starting to ride my program, the horse was just like, oh my god, this is too warm because it has also so much fur. So then he just gave up a little bit, and I hadn't calculated the boots, the warming up with this warm riding arena. And then yeah, I just had to figure out to do something.
But this is what you mentioned. I mean,
Yeah,
you need to practice, and this is what you just did. And
exactly. So now
sometimes,
for next discipline now in Mestradelt, I have learned this. I have learned, that the heating there then you need to do different things in the warm-up. You need to have different boots. The balance has to be different. So you have to just balance the horse differently. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like, even if I was one of the last ones on the result list, it was actually really fun because I learned so many things, and yeah, so it was a good experience.
But I mean, still, you need to keep in mind, Niels, that they are the best riders of the world and the best riders out of Iceland. So I
Yeah,
think, I
I
mean,
know. Yeah,
everybody needs to be somewhere and not everyone can be
yeah,
first.
no, exactly. And we had also quite fun because Sara Sigurбjörnsdottir, she was actually, yeah, we had almost like the same marks, and we were really like, totally down in the bottom. But I would also say like the horse that everyone is also like talking about that was really popular in this method, that was actually the horse from Sara. you know,
Exactly. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, I
then
know.
that was an eye catcher. So then, as long as I also presented my horse good, even if we did a lot of expensive mistakes, I have also gotten a lot of good feedback that they really, yeah, that a lot of people also really liked my horse. So that was also nice.
You forgot something to mention, Niels. We want to know the name of the horse and the plans with the horse this year.
Yeah, the name of the horse is Havlidi fra Bjarkarey. It's a stallion out of Seir fra Bakakot. He is judged with 860 and something in total. Actually, as a five-gaiter, but we decided to ride him in four gates and T2, T1. And now the next plans will be maybe some of the other disciplines in Meistradelt, and then I will also ride him on the clinic that we will have the 22nd of March.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, let's see what the summer will. It's a little bit difficult to plan because I haven't really decided for which tournaments to ride here on the continent yet. So,
We have World Championships in August, Niels.
yes, that is a competition I want to take part in.
But you don't know with which horse yet, or do you?
No, no, I don't know with which horse yet, and I need to qualify. So I need to do, of course, some specific world ranking competition, and that is the competitions I haven't really been able to point out yet. Beside of Kronso Special is like that is basic every year, but I need two world ranking competitions and the Norwegian Championship to qualify.
Okay, so you need this three competitions taking part
Yeah, and
to.
then it's all about planning, which competition has the good warm up, the good stable facilities, a good track, not so far to drive, maybe just to save the horse for the last drive to Switzerland. And I also need to go to Norway, which is quite far for me to drive. So it's all about planning the season, where to go, where to have the horse on top, where to just uh, yeah, give it maybe a little less training and so on. I haven't really been able to make the perfect plan yet.
And of course, I need to know, how do you qualify in Denmark for World Championship? Do you need specific marks, or how does that work?
No, it's like, yeah, I will of course then compete for Norway, not Denmark.
True.
So
Sorry.
that's, yeah, no problem. So it's like seven riders that of course can come into the team, and then, yeah, as I said, I need two world ranking competitions and the Norwegian Championship, and then I just actually need to be one of the totally best with to come into the team, because, yeah, we have also a lot. We have good riders in Norway that are specialized maybe in different disciplines. One super good in T2, maybe one super good in four gate, and T1 and five gate, and a pace horse, and then suddenly there are not so many spaces left. So then it's all about just being good enough.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's
but
difficult. So I cannot say that if you ride seven 40, then you're in the team. It's not, yeah, you have to be like better than the other ones, then you're in the team.
Of course, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but we definitely need you at World Championships for the good mood.
Yeah, for the good mood.
We
Exactly.
all want to see you laughing and being like, it's always so nice to have you around. You are so
Um,
positive all the time.
yeah, thank you. But we need to be, it helps. Or it doesn't help to be in a bad mood at least.
That's true. That's true. But Nils, you just mentioned you're going to ride your new horse at a special clinic in Iceland. Can you tell
Hmm.
me a little bit more about that?
About our amazing clinic.
Of course.
um, mhm. It will be a clinic like never before, held at Ingoldsquot. Um it's me, Olil Amble, Berger Jonsson at Gangmilan, and Julio Borba, the Portuguese. He's our Portuguese trainer, has been through many years, and we decided to have then a clinic, a demonstration, just to like inspire as many as possible with riding, actually art of riding. That is also the name of it. Reidlist is like riding art, directly translated to English. And yeah, so that will be, and it will be a fashion show, and it will be
Wow.
lectures also held by Dr. Susan Brown. We will also have then in the evening a gala show, and where all of the best riders in Iceland will come and present their riding and their horses. And
Wow.
we will have like, red carpet. Top Rider comes with champagne. Pavo is there with, yeah, Pavo will go all in. Blåmatton as well. And we will have a really popular band playing live music all evening. And we will really try to level up. I feel we have so many good riders, we have so many good talents, horses, and we really should just like try to lift like the level up.
100% agree. And is it taking place in English or Icelandic?
It will be English version because Julio, he is of course just speaking English, and it will come also a lot of people from abroad, from United States and Germany and Switzerland and
Wow.
Denmark, Norway, Sweden.
And what do you think
Yeah,
for what kind of riders does it suit best or fit best? Is it like for free time riders or more competition riders, breeders, or all kind of?
I think it's like quite all kind of, because it's like some things are really important also maybe for the breeders, you know, how to start the horses correct up in the classical way, maybe, to save time, to blah, blah, blah for the competitions or fitsu, or to see like, which kind of confirmation gives this or that, or yeah, I think it's just a good place to come if you want to make some changes, to really to get inspired, because we all do a little bit like our own routine with some extra, adding some extra spices in between, but it's just, yeah, with also like Ole Lemberger has also so much knowledge about the breeding and about training and about business, about branding, about so many things. And Julio, that comes from this enormously horse educated family in traditions, I don't know how many years back, also with their values. It's also like, yeah, really inspiring for me at least. So I think it will be quite inspiring for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I personally think we always need to improve ourselves all the
Hmm.
time. We
Hmm.
shouldn't stop with learning I mean, all the time, because if we do so, it's not fair because I mean, everybody learns more about horses. We got more studies, we got all more knowledge, and if we don't try to get that from somewhere, like from clinics like that, or riding lessons or whatever,
Hmm.
it's not fair for our horses and not for us as well.
No, no, exactly. And also, like, I think we should like, or we shouldn't copy everything from the big horse world. I totally aware of that. But in comparison to our sport, it's like in the big horse scene, they're always talking about how many horses you have educated. They are never talking about how high you have been riding one of your horses in sport or in breeding shows. So if you tell a big horse rider that you have achieved, I don't know, 830 in T1 or whatever, then they're just like, okay, good for you, congratulations.
And now,
But yeah, and then they are just like, and so. But if you say like they do, if you have educated 2 horses for Grand Prix or 5 horses for Grand Prix or 10 horses for Grand Prix, they are just like, wow, you are a good trainer.
okay, this
So
is a
then,
huge difference. I didn't know that.
nice. So it's like a mega different approach because it's all about education. Of course, also results. They want to be best, but it's all the respect comes from education. And that is a little bit like what we also, or I have in mind for the clinic. Like now that, for example, Ulil has also like, she has educated 2 of her horses, Piaf, Passage, Canter pirouettes. The schooling is starting to come on a quite high level.
Mhm.
On the same time, those horses have delivered quite well in sport and also being scoring super high in guiding academy. So I mean, they are like the Icelandic Vikings, and
Mhm.
Icelandic Geiringur, as we are talking about. They have been performing on top in Beflokkur, which is then we are rewarding power, rideability, gaits, expression, blah blah blah, and sport, and then also been winning guiding lists. Our dressage
Icelandic
guiding.
dressage, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So then we are starting to have like we are starting to approach the same level. Yeah, trying to explain people that it is the education, and also to be more proud, and also to keep your horses for a longer time. Just don't ride it one winter, expect that it will score 750 and sell it because it's like 10-year-old or whatever. Just like keep it, work it, educate yourself, educate the horse,
Mhm.
and also try to teach that your students that they also should award this, search for this.
But do you think we have a lack of education in the Icelandic horse world?
I'm not sure if that is like correct to just say it like that, but I think the tradition is, even if it's getting better, the tradition is a little bit more to keep the horse for a year or two and sell it.
Mhm.
So then, of course, I mean, if you, let's say, if you ride your horse 5 times a week during 1 month, then you have ridden the horse 20 times. So what have you actually approached in 20 times?
Not a lot.
No, exactly. So then if you say like, okay, and quite often the horses are also maybe not trained 5 times a week. So what then, you know?
Yeah.
So then it is a little bit. And then if you say you have had the horse for, let's say, just 1 year, then you haven't actually been able to train it many times during that year. So it's difficult for the horse actually also to deliver what you are aiming for or what you are searching for in 1 year. You have to like give it time. It also takes, 6 years to educate a Grand Prix horse if you ride the transitions good every day. And then we are talking like at least then 5 times a week, every transition good. So
That
then if
sounds
you ride, for
exciting.
example, if you have then one day which your transitions are maybe more downhill than uphill, then it's actually worse. You have trained it out of balance instead of into balance. So then if you have like, 2, 3 times a day where you have, a more amount of transitions downhill than uphill, then it's like getting worse that week. Just if we can have this as a calculation, but it's just like to have a picture on it,
Yeah.
that we have to give us time, we have to give the horse time, and we have to also to give ourselves time, to really, do I really feel it? Do I really ride honestly? Do I really admit that this is not good? I am actually also not doing it correct, or giving ourselves a clap on the shoulder and just like, whoa, this is a huge step. This is not like 8:15 competition, no, but in my training, this is a huge step. This is actually really good. This is something I have achieved. I have to remember this.
But I think this is very important what you just said. You need to learn to reflect yourself as good as you
Mm-hmm.
can to improve yourself. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because like, we say that the horse is a mirror of yourself. So that's why, the connection between the horse and the rider has to be there, and it has to be an honest, connection there. So it's not all about, yeah, I don't know, just doing something and hope that it will give you some marks.
Hopes might not work if you want to,
No,
for example, ride World Championships.
no, exactly, exactly.
But Niels, which role are riding lessons then play in your daily business and education as well to get a better rider?
Yeah, but I get inspired of having a lot of lessons. I have lessons every week on my big horse, and I also, ride lessons as often as I can with my trainers. So I am maybe not the one to ask how the lesson works because I have lessons all the time.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, this
But
is
it's
not.
also like, it is also like, as we said like earlier, that we shouldn't like compare everything to the big horse world. I totally know, but let's say in a Grand Prix, you ride minimum 90 transitions.
Per lesson?
Like, no, if you ride a Grand Prix
Hmm.
competition, then you ride minimum 90 transitions, 90 to 100 transitions in the program.
Oh God. Okay.
And then when we ride our, let's say, four gate, I mean, we ride four transitions.
Yeah, true.
We ride 250 meter, then we do one transition at 12 o'clock. Then we ride 250 new 250 meters, one transition. And then even then, we are sometimes not able to do the transition at 12 o'clock. It's like 5 minutes past, 10 minutes past, quarter past. So then, of course, like it is a little bit like we need to like step up, and that is why we need lessons. We need like if yeah, we need just like to level up.
Do you know what I've heard? I'm not quite sure if this is like that this year or if it's only starting this year or if it started last year. But I think for the young riders, it's mandatory to ride a dressage test on a competition when they want to compete. I'm not 100% sure. And the
Oh,
reason might be what you just mentioned.
yeah,
You need to write more transitions,
yeah,
well, or you need to write more dressage, whatever
yeah,
we want to say it.
yeah. I would also like say like, yeah, it's all about riding the horse in balance. That is like the aim. I'm not saying that we should call it dressage or ride a Grand Prix or aim for the Grand Prix or aim for forget T1 to sky high marks or whatever, but we should just like aim more for riding the horse in balance.
And do you think, well, not do you think, we know that the aids are helpful to get there, but are there any specific aids you are using most, or you think these aids are most important,
Important.
important?
Mhm. No, but if we will say that, yeah, the horse is the mirror of ourselves as like number one, it's all the horse cannot understand what we are telling it to do. We cannot just like say go right or collect or speed up, or we have to give a signal for these things because the horse, uses all of its energy to understand or to recognize the signals that we are giving. So, I mean, if we are not aware of our signals, how can the horse perform what we are dreaming of the horse should do? So we should really train all of our aids. Is it when you squeeze the leg, is it like 100 gram? Is it 200 gram? Is it uh, a quick push, a slow push? What is the aid? If we are not aware of it ourselves, the horse doesn't have a clue, and then we cannot be disappointed because it's not listening, or we cannot be shocked that it's overreacting, or it's all about the details. So that's why the awareness of the rider is super important, and that's why, for example, I get inspired to have lessons, to organize this riding all the time. I'm doing my best every day, 100%, but it's also good to be reminded or pushed or, yeah, and so on. So I don't know
Mhm.
what the specific aid should be. I think just like the body language, your energy, the signals. Yeah,
Like everything in harmony.
yeah, exactly. Because the
Mhm.
horse also, since it doesn't understand the language, I mean, yeah, all of the senses of the horse, it can feel if you're sad, happy, energetic, totally drained, whatever.
Mhm.
So you have to, to be able to motivate your horse. If you, let's say, I'm in the stable all day, I can read my horses when they look happy or hungry or whatever. But for the normal rider that has maybe one horse at a pension place, they come there, they spend, I don't know, let's say 2 hours there, and then the horse is alone 22 hours then. So then when the rider comes there, it also has to be a little bit inspiring for the horse when the rider is there, instead of just thinking that, oh my god, the rider is like draining me, it's no energy, and it's like the atmosphere is just like when the
Mhm.
rider is there. It has to also to be like, yeah, it has to be inspiring for the horse as well. It has to feel well.
Very, very well said, Nils. And I have a question because some people say, if you, for example, want to improve a trot and the horse is not easy to ride in trot, it's much easier to train in trot, for example. Can you
Mm-hmm.
improve trot by improving the trot first? Is it true, or do you think it's true?
100%. I think if you improve the balance, no matter which gate, the next gates will be much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Okay.
you try to improve the tilt, then you will have some other balance challenges, maybe in trot or canter, or yeah. But you can also improve the tilt by organizing your walk. So
Of
it's
course,
just
of course. So are
for
you a
it.
fan of riding walk? Are you riding a lot of walk?
Yeah. I also, work the horses a lot by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also like a game changer in the beginning when Julio, our teacher there, he was just like, he was so shocked because we were riding the horses when they didn't have balance. And then he was just like, but, why do you do this? And I was like, because I like to ride, I didn't know better. So I was just like, riding is so fun. And he was like, yeah, but I think maybe you should walk or work them a little bit more by hand. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I never do that. Totally happy go lucky. But
Wow.
then when I learned that, of course, that was a game changer. So then I
When
could like organize my aids from the ground. I could organize the energy. I could organize the suppleness. I could organize the collection. And then, of course, when I mounted the horse, having this control from the ground, it was just another horse when you sat on it. And then you can add more and more when you need and if you need.
Okay, so it seems as if this is one of your top tips you want to give to all riders out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is maybe true. That is maybe my top. Also to read the horse from the ground, see how it works and see it under you, not just try to feel it under you, because it's sometimes it also looks different than it feels.
So
So I think,
if you need to tell me your top three tips, we have one already. Do you have two more for all Icelandic horse riders out there?
let's see, work from the ground, number one. Uh, and or maybe number one is like be an inspiration for your horse.
Mm-hmm.
Including, have good energy and also to be as fit as you want the horse to be. So then if you are training like condition and you have control over the feeding, the shoeing, blah, 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 then it's also the same for yourself.
About your own feeding as well. So you only eat broccoli, Niels, right?
No, 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 no. I actually really love broccoli, but it's also like, it's so much around that subject that if you have, sometimes I have students on lesson and they are tired after a riding lesson. And then I'm a little bit like, are you tired after 45 minutes of riding? What about your horse then? You have to help your horse, so then if you are tired, of course, your concentration are not good, your timing is not so good, and then I don't feel it's like so fair for the horse either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you should run, I don't know how many kilometers a day and do fitness or whatever, but you owe the horse to be fit enough for what you're asking.
100%.
And now, of course, if the horse should be in balance, you should be able to be in balance yourself. So then to have a proper seat, to have a proper balance, and to not disturb the horse is included in that number one.
Okay. Okay. So we have number one and we have number two.
And what is then number three?
I don't know.
Number three is, what is that? I actually, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of fun with my horses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that is like is a little bit included in the number one to be to be an inspiration for your horse, but it's also like, I have a lot of fun with them. For me, that is really important.
And I think this is a really good tip because
Yeah.
if you don't have fun, you will never enjoy and put efforts into riding, don't you?
No, exactly. Because when you put the horse in and out from the meadows, you put the horse in and out of the trailer, you shoe it, you split the mane, you wash them. It's like in and out. You ride it in the forest. It's the riding hole. It's the oval track. You use so much time together, so it has to be fun. It has to be like a dialogue all the time. It's not a monologue. That is also what I'm trying to teach all my workers that are here, when they go out with the horses in the morning, have them on the side, have the dialogue. Don't drag them after you as a donkey. It's just like bring some joy in it, bring some life in it.
But isn't it like that in Iceland sometimes? You just take them behind you sometimes. I mean, it's not like that anymore, but this was always often my impression that the horses they like to be in the back of you.
Yeah, I also actually on one point from many years ago, I also learned it that the horse should be walking behind me. So I was like
Okay.
correcting the horses behind me.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. So then, so they were always just like walking behind me. They were maybe not like pulling, but they were just like, it was like a complete monologue, you know, they were just like talking to my back all the time. And that is like, yeah, it's so important that it is a monologue. It is, you have to see the horse, you have to invite the horse in.
I see you
It,
did a big development the past
mm-hmm,
years.
mm-hmm. That is
That's
also by, you know, learning something all the time.
really
So then
cool to see.
even if we are doing like yeah, you know, the work from the ground and so on, and then having the monologue and the dialogue, sorry, having the dialogue, but still, you know, having my space and your space, having the respect.
Yeah.
So that is like yeah, and also the respect, that is also like what Julio has learned us also quite strictly, having the respect for not only the horse, but also the equipment and yourself and your clothes or whatever, you know, that you are just, yeah, being proud of who you are and yourself, your horse and your equipment and so on. Take care of it.
I hope we inspired a lot of people by talking a little bit about Icelandic horse riding and training and your development. But Niels, I know there are so many people out there who want to know what kind of horses you have in the stable now and what your
Mm-hmm.
plans look like this year. And of course, we want to know all the horses as well you don't want to talk about.
Ah! And who is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. This year, I think I have a lot of expectations for my Balthasar fra Sunnaholti. It's a 8-year-old stallion out of Concert that I have given time to grow and to, yeah, to be educated. And now I feel this year he is ready. He is ready to rumble. So I think
Good.
he will do good this summer. That is that one. And then I have Gustur fra Kronsov that I won the Nordic Championship with last year. I feel like he has never been better, actually.
Hmm.
Uh, so he is also in for the game for the World Championship. I have also a new 5-gator, Arvakur fra Øysåsjølega. He also a 5-gator, will be very good in 5-gate, T1 and pace test. And then Hasher fra Husavik is rented out to Kronsov, so he will be there in mares. Because he is so, that's always the challenge. And the same with Fenrir fra Fet is going to be at Marianne Vryk's place in insemination. And that is always a challenge when you buy so good breeding stallions as those two. They are so popular in breeding that it's also difficult to do competitions also. So then it's always just like, yeah, I would just decided that they should just be 100% in mares instead of trying both and burning too much energy on whatever. It's also more fair to just like do one thing more proper, like 100%. So this year it's breeding season. Next year it will be competition season.
Okay, so what do you have in mind when you're buying these kind of horses? Is it more like, okay, you like this horse and you want to train and ride it, or is it like, you're the breeder inside yourself and you want to see the super nice offsprings?
Both. They were actually just both bought as competition horses. And then Fenrir was, I was just like here the other day, I was just like, oh my God, he's like 10 years old. And I think I've been riding two competitions or so on him.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like a crisis actually.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like I enjoy so much to train this horse. So I mean, every winter is just like, oh my God, it's so fun and it's such an amazing horse. But I feel like the breeding is also like both like Fenrir and Hasher, they have something extraordinary that we need in the breed of the Icelandic horse. They have the X factor, they have a much bigger size, they have like this mega trot and canter with the good tilt. Both are super good in T2. They have this easy, light, soft tilt. And I think to be able to develop the Icelandic horse, those stallions actually need to be in the breeding.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel a bit the responsibility to like, yeah, open the door in that direction. And then, yeah, and then let's see, as at least next year, I also want to ride competition on them. But then maybe later on the season, they can have mares or I don't know. But it's also like, when I got Fenrir the first or took him out from Iceland, then Frauke wanted to have him on Kronsov, and then I mean he got mega good mares. I think he had like 5 world champions
Wow.
mares. Hmm.
Wow.
So I mean, like in some few years, and they also do so professional work at Kronsov. So then I know also that all of those offsprings, if they are good enough, I mean they will be shown, and that is also has a high value for me as the owner of the stallion, that it's just like then I know it's professional, it's top handle from the beginning to the end. And that was then the same now with Hashir. When Hashir is also going there, I know it's just like it's the best place for my stallion to be. And
Yeah.
then it's worth doing it for me, then it's worth yeah, then I know it's like as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a little bit the argument actually for that. So yeah.
Yeah. Any more horses we need to know and we need to know the plans of?
Mm, is there? I have like my first. It's quite interesting because I have my youngsters coming up. They're only 4, so they are not. Yeah, they will not be competed this year. But I have some really, yeah, my first uh, really good generation is now in. Two
Mm-hmm.
after Odin and two after Odin and one out of Flöymur, my old competition horse.
Mm-hmm.
Really promising. Three,
So,
four gators, just like really high standard. So that is super nice.
but how is it in Denmark? Is it allowed to show them already with 4 years old or only
Yeah,
being?
yeah, but I will not do that. They are not. They can wait. I don't have rush. Those 3 there will be my competition horses. So yeah,
You have enough horses in
whenever.
the stable.
Yeah, exactly.
Niels, the last question I'm always asking the guests we're having in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What's your wish for the Icelandic horse world in the future? Or how do you see the Icelandic horse in the future?
Ooh. That was a good question.
Mhm.
Yeah, how do I see it? I don't know. Yeah, what, how exactly? I would actually, I'm aiming for people to be less judging.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, I know it's a fine combination. If you're also more happy with yourself, maybe you are also more happy with others. So that is like something that we need to yeah, I don't know. I think that has been like a period now that thing has gone in a little bit in the wrong direction because people are so rude and without limits, especially online and social media. I feel they are just wasting so much of their energy criticizing other ones.
Agree.
Um, but I think also like, we are all of us, or like so many of us, are also trying to do our best like every day. Every day is just like woohoo, let's do something good. So then I see, but I feel also like we are also going the right direction because there are so I feel it's coming more and more, it's better and better horses, and as long as the riders also starts to be more and more educated, I think we will have a really exciting future.
I
And
do agree.
I see also like the Icelandic horse is also getting more and more popular, which is also really nice.
100% agree, Niels.
Yeah, so I don't know, and yeah, I don't know if that was good enough answer for the question.
I think this
Or
was
if
a
it was
super good answer. I think
okay.
that this was really, really good. And actually, this was my last question for the podcast. I have to say thank
Uh-huh.
you for being our guest here, Niels, and hope to see you all over in social media on the World Championships, on the competition, seeing you at Mesterwelt and so on. And good luck for the
Mhm.
season.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.